8/8/18 is coming up. It'll be the 3-year anniversary of me having an experience with the celestial beings known as stars. I've been keeping my head up, but it's been so cloudy, not seeing much.
It's just that since everything's fake, including my identity, I don't really give a shit anymore. And I think I'm losing perspective on a couple of things here because, I ran around after I tried that cleanse thing like 2 months ago, whatever it was. I got out of that. Things were really pumped up. Things were really well. And then I started to create. I started to literally actually create my reality to where I was like, look, I really want to chill. I really wish I didn't have to work today. Just saw myself not working. Come downstairs to work, and the guy's like, hey, look, you mind if I take your shift? And this was about a month ago. It's like, yeah. I walked down going, wow, this is pretty interesting. So that's all I've been doing. I've been thinking something and, knowing it's going to be that way. And I don't want to say I'm getting bored. It's just that it's easier for me to peer through. See, I don't want to say, I feel like I'm being ungrateful. But apparently I'm not that pulled away from it because I'm still smoking cigarettes. Granted, not as much. Not down to a pack every 3 days like is my goal, but that'll come when it comes. Remember last time when I did it, I wasn't forcing it. Hey, you like my new Mandela Effect shirt? That's not even a 100%er for me. Stouffer's is though. But I don't know. And plus we just got through that shift, so... And the full moon, the blood moon, the whole thing for 2 days, whatever. Just got done that. So, and I've been on edge, baby. And just sitting there going, okay, I know it. I know what it is. Why am I still on edge? I understand it. I know it. So now I feel like this is the calm after the storm. It's kind of slightly calming down. Yeah, it's time. I feel like it's time for something, and I feel like I'm not quite ready. I've been ready my whole life. Now something's just pulling me back, pulling in the reins. Get that sick all the time. Should I do this? Should I do that? I'm just living in the moment, not planning anything. It's kind of weird in the morning first thing because when I'm not planning, if I have plans, I'm up, I get it done. Now I'm getting up and I'm like, oh. Is there anything I have to do?
Well, I guess that ain't going to make a difference, is it? I have some clear-cut messages coming in that we're to go home. It's time to go home. It's time to finish up in 3D reality. I'm just using terms. I don't know what it is. But I'm getting some clear answers. I've been asking this question for a while, and I'm wondering now, I'm like, was I missing the answers? Because, before, we know how the answers were coming in for me. I'm thinking back on some little things that happened here and there. I wouldn't catch it, know it. I don't know. But not so much a breaking out. Like before it was like, are we stuck here? Is it a trap? It may be for some people. They're probably trapping themselves. In ways that I'd like to talk about. Another topic. But I don't think it's a trap per se, that something, another entity or something negative is holding us back. I mean, not holding us back. Yeah, I'm sure of, but I don't think they can stop us from evolving, ascending, going to 5D, whatever you want to term it, going to heaven. You know, Book of Revelation stuff, 2,000 years of peace. You know, going through the 7 years of tribulation. Yeah, I don't know what it is, and I really feel that it is about your beliefs. If you believe that you're going to be saved by some other entity, and you have a strong belief about that, and I know a lot of people do, you're probably going to be saved by another entity, assuming your beliefs coincide with what it's going to take to ascend, go to 5D, evolve, whatever. And I have a feeling that the people that are seeing the Mandela effects already made that criteria, and I think that's what's happening. We are shedding we're seeing truth, shedding negativity, becoming lighter. We're noticing things, speed time up, the changes that we're noticing these things. This is for us. The people that we interacted with, that we opened up their minds, the ones that took it and ran with it were supposed to be woken up. The ones that have not, are just not supposed to be woken up yet. Their dominant consciousness is probably not even within the parameters of this reality. I usually say timeline. I'm trying to change it to reality. It's a little more vague. And I think that's probably the best route to go. Another thing on moving forward, evolving, ascending, 5D. More on moving forward. I really don't think it's as much about your bad habits, the things that I was trying to get through and not do, and abstain and eat the right foods. Yes, I think there's something about that. Yes, I think it makes it easier. I think it's going to make a difference if there's a major, hey, we're in 5D. I think you might be one of the ones going, oh, my stomach hurts. Okay, as a comparable example. It might be a lot harder for you after you get to 5D and realize, oh my, I can't have a cigarette or whatever. I'm just using examples. Maybe you can. I don't know. You might get there and go through withdrawals because of things that you're used to. And it might be easier to stop them here. I'm guessing it is. I'm guessing it's easier to break those things here. And once you go to 5D, I'm guessing the symptoms would stop. You wouldn't have the urges and the cravings and whatnot. These are speculations. But I don't think it's so much that as the kind of person that you are. I'm starting to think it really has to, because there are so many of us with diverse personalities, religious backgrounds, creed, color, race. What else is there? Height. I mean, and beliefs and things that and the way we are, the way we interact with physical reality. We're all different, but what I see is we're all good people. We are all good people trying to get the truth out to people, trying to comfort people when they do come in contact with it. All the channels that I interact with, everybody's doing something different. And not one of us think the exact same thing on what's going on. We're all smart enough to know that we don't know. And there's a lot. And not have to worry about it. What do you think? Let's get us both in there, right? And get it both.
Oh, hi. I have to say hi.
Hey, there's all my Mandela effect.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Hey.
What's your biggest Mandela effect? What's your favorite Mandela effect?
Of course, the Scarecrow.
There you
Of
go.
course, the Scarecrow is the biggest. I like that.
Oh, you haven't heard the latest one. What company makes stovetop stuffing?
Guest Stokers.
We're going to guess Stouffer's. That's what most people are guessing. And it's actually Kraft. Isn't that weird?
Kraft, why would they be making it? They make macaroni and cheese.
Right. How cool is that? That's the latest.
Yeah.
Friday night, got my outfit on. I feel like I'm dealing again.
I'm waiting for 6:30 to go down there. Hey,
I won't show you the shorts. Hey guys. I don't feel like it's a trap. If it is a trap, you trapped yourself. If you trapped yourself, you're supposed to trap yourself. That's what you're supposed to do. You got to learn whatever it is. You got to learn to get out of that. I've trapped myself a couple of times. I'm probably still in some sort of a trap, but I'm ready to expand. I'm ready to explore. I am ready to move on, not die as we used to term dying. No, I'm ready for something. And I said that I said it somewhere, and I don't know what video, probably get it in this one, but I was walking down the street and it just hit me. I'm ready for something. But I think something's coming now, and I think we're going to shift and whatever, a big shift's going to come, and taking these little shifts, and I'm going, wow, the mood swings, and boy, what if this came in 10 times bigger? I probably would have to just run into the mountains and just sit in a corner somewhere, because I wouldn't be able to be around people. It's hard enough just the way it is sometimes. The last time, you know what, I knew about it, and I talked about it with people. I said, boy, I'm sorry I'm a pill today. I'm sorry, you just stay away from me, you'll be fine. They were all laughing. Got them in a good mood, which turned my mood, and it spread, which, that's usually how it works. It's usually how I see it. But I think it's more of a, hey, if you're ready to go, if you're ready to move on, if you're ready to evolve, ascend, 5D, I think it's going to be okay for you. I don't care what habits you got. We're all doing it. I don't think it's going to matter. You got to just, I'm sure it's not going to matter. It just may be harder for you somewhere or the other. But I really do believe we've already made the choice. We're already going to 5D, ascension, evolve. That's where we're headed. But I really don't think it's a trap. Like I said, I think if it's a trap, you trapped yourself. But I don't think we're trapped. And the messages I was getting, and still I'm getting, is it's time to come home. So, and click your heels, tap your heels. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. And I was talking to Guy Fawkes about this, and we were trying to figure out the meaning behind it, what's the difference between click and tap. And first thing he came up with was keyboard. And then we said something about there's no place like home. And we talked about Folgers and the D missing. And I said, yeah, I always thought that was the D was missing, so that means the D-Wave computer is not causing the Mandela effect. And he thought that interesting. He says, well, what's they're saying? And I got one around here somewhere. The saying. So I go over and I read the Folgers can, and it says, wake up with Folgers in your coffee or something to that effect. And I'm like, I don't see a message there. Guy says, wake up. And I thought, boom, there it is again. Wake up, come home. These are messages from what you believe is guiding you. These are for me. For me, it's
For me, it's what I'll term as God, my higher self, my Christ self, a part of me, a larger part of me, um, the absolute of the absolute. Okay, I don't know, but it's coming in from, there's something there. I mean, there's definitely something there. Is it a form of me? That I get from the orb situation. That is something that without these experiences in 15, I would not have went towards that train of thought. I explored it. I kept it in the back of my mind. It always intrigued me. It's not like it wasn't my top theory on what was going on, but back then I was exploring it quite a bit. But it's something that was kind of always there for me, So yeah, I tend to think it's a part of me or a higher self of me or whatever. But whatever you believe, that's what it is, and that's what it's going to be. And rejoice in that. Be happy in that, because you're moving up. You're moving on. So the messages they're getting a little obvious. And it's like I'm looking back at the old messages, and I'm like, oh, I guess I misinterpreted that, because Folgers for me was always D-Wave computer not being around, and now this one is wake up, makes much more sense. It's more positive. It makes me feel good, makes me feel better. This is I'm being communicated with again. I don't think as strongly, but doesn't matter. I'm picking it up now. So I think this is a time to get excited. I think it's time to be happy. Now I was saying do that just to create what's around you. And, you still may be able to just do that and stay 3D physical. I don't think so. I think we're going 5D physical. I'm under the impression, I'm starting to feel like it's all going to seem physical to us. I mean, until you get to some point, I'm sure. If it's like, but everything's so gradually, we probably won't even notice it or care. Yeah, so this is an exciting time. I'm starting to get impressions that we are to consciously shift ourselves into 5D, 3D, ascension, evolution, 5D. We have to start gearing ourselves up to think that way. That that's what's going to happen, and we know it, and we have to prepare ourselves. I mean, and by preparing ourselves, I mean to, choose that. That's how we shift. I'm about to do a video on the different ways I've come across that you can shift into different timelines. And this one here is like mine in my book is, focus your desire, know it to be true, say it out loud, write it down, which is something I didn't say, and you should also write it down. Know it, and then accept the situation, let it go. Not let it go, but accept that it is real and it is there and it is done, and move on to the next desired accomplishment. So you will actually let that go. Focus on the other one. That's done. It's already there. But this other one, that's the one I've been pushing. And this other one is choice, and it seems easier, and it seems like it's something that you do all the time. You'll see something, you'll see a choice in front of you, and you make the decision. Now, if you want to shift, focus on what you desire and then make a different choice. I mean, you should be able to see the choices out before you and be able to choose which you want. So I'm going to do a bunch of separate videos on that. See how that turns out, because some of them are a little ritualistic, and I've tried and were interesting, and that blood over intent thing could be one way. I don't know. I'll have to put that down as a possibility. I'm not a fan of that. We put that right out there. But yeah, do that. I think we all should start thinking, yeah, you know what? Let's not question it anymore. Let's not be concerned. Everybody's going to get where they need to get to in their own time. I know it's going to be hard for families and people around you. People that you know. That look, they're probably not within a timeline close to your parameters anyway. I've just gotten some messages from some people, that are talking about how their family acts like they're not even there. You're probably not in their dominant conscious timeline, or wherever they exist. Okay, you're somewhere else. We've evolved somehow. If I could use that word, it almost seems dirty. But just, I say know it. I say no, we're going towards 2,000 years of peace. 5-dimensional physical reality, or maybe it's not physical, maybe it's just completely spiritual. I tend to think there's going to be a physical content to it. I think it's going to be a gradual thing. I can't imagine the shock from going to a completely 3-dimensional being to whatever it is we eventually get to. Okay, that's it.
1903, but for years it used to say 1855.
I know there's some sort of eclipse coming up, I think on the 11th, 8th or the 11th. Not quite positive. I'll have to look into that, because I think that's big. Of course, I think they're all big. With my experience with the blood moon thing back in 15, I'm always looking for those experiences and that excitement. But it's, I've been saying, something's here, and I'm not ready for it, but I am ready for it, and I've been waiting for it my whole life, and it's right around the corner, and I think a lot of people that haven't had Mandela effect experiences or other epiphanies on other levels, I think they're going to get hit soon with something, and I don't know. But it's not for me to worry about that, because this is going to be about me and the experiences I'm going to have. I can feel the energy, the anxiety. I am it's easily just thwarted away. I know I probably talk about it in a video coming up here, because that's what happened earlier in the week. I was feeling another shift. That's what I've been terming it. I don't know what it is. It's gearing up for a higher vibration. These are terms I would use. It could be anything. I mean, you can term it whatever you want for whatever your moving on is for you. I mean, for me, I'm starting to see things around me easier. If something starts to get negative, it goes away immediately. Oh, you know what? You're all going to hear something about me wanting to put together a fantasy football league for Mandela-affected people. I probably discussed it a few times. Like, I think to the point where I talked myself into it when I was actually trying to talk myself out of it. I think I talked myself into it, and then, one of the videos you're going to see, it's just going to say, hey, go ahead and let me know if you're interested. I've decided I'm not going to do it. There's just too much for me to do spiritually. I mean, and, there's a part of me that's like, yes, do it. And I'm feeling it from here, so I'm thinking, well, go ahead and do it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to want to be bothered, especially with from now to the end of summer and the end of this year. So no on the fantasy football league, but if somebody else wants to run one, I'd get in, I'd put the money in. My idea was to go ahead and put it on PayPal, and I was going to do CBS Sportsline, but somebody else told me there's a free one. I would have done 16 teams. That's probably the most. Look at me. I'm trying to do it. It excites me. It excites me to get back into that. And I don't think it'd be that harmful. I really don't. But I think it makes me feel like such a hypocrite. And I think I mentioned that as well, because it's nothing but a distraction. But at the same time, I'm telling you, if Guy Fawkes, Scarab Performance, Photo Helix, Money Bags, Life Matrix, Lone Eagle, if all these people, and everybody else too, I can't even think of, believe me, Armor Up and Fizzy Pop and, Rachel, and everybody has their own football team. I think it would be, the most fun would be the draft. It would be an online live draft. That would be the most fun. But, like I said, honestly, it's a distraction, period. I won't put you on.
It was just like,
Check the place out.
it was just, it looks like a stairwell at
on
the
top?
top, and it's yellow, and it's a different color than the building. And a bunch of guests were like, that hasn't been there.
Oh, really?
And they were trying to figure out what building it was, and I was like, well, it's not new, but nobody noticed it, and all I could think about was you. Like, we shifted.
It's true. Just got done talking to a science guy, and he actually had me listening to him. Usually people start talking science, man, and I'm like, I can't even do it. He actually had me listening, and it was pretty interesting. Even though I listened and I understood, it still came down to their numbers, if I could use that term. It came down to science's numbers, prove the science, and he said, yeah, well, science can always be changed. It can always be proven something better when somebody has a theory or something's better. So everything's a theory. We had a really nice conversation. Bought my book. It was just surprising. I enjoyed that. I was thinking the anxiousness that I feel during a shift is easier to deal with now that I know it and I've been through it a few times. But I'm also wondering, is that possible? Can you not wonder? Like back in 15 near the blood moons when I was going through all this. I mean, that was big, strong, big shift for me. Big emotions going on there. And in this now I'm realizing now, wow, this is very similar in that, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but after that, and then there was a shift, and then this is just signs. These could be just signs. Oh, it's more than that. How many people were in the car when JFK was assassinated?
I've already done this.
3, 4, how many think?
88.
3.
It was like 48.
In this timeline, there's 6.
What?
Prince, do you want to go out?
It's a different face?
No,
Aunt
Jemima, they use a different face than they used to.
Okay, I'll have to check into that.
That's something. Didn't feel right. was really making me nervous. I felt something trying to push its way out through my back. This sensation happened a few times before I realized something penetrated me. I recall being very confused and wondering what I should do.
And yes, I picked the Philadelphia Phillies to win the World Series before the season started. And I even sense now that just where I'm at right now, they'll get to the World Series. I don't know if they'll win it. I said they'd win it before the... I have not watched a game. I think I went to a game. I walked around, looked at the people. I was into other things, man. That was early in the season. Yeah, it was Chicago. It's so funny because I have not paid attention to it at all. I was listening to one of Scarra Performance's shows, and him and Lone Eagle were talking about how they're just not into sports anymore. I was right with them. It's just, I'm not, but then I think, I ran a fantasy football league for years, 9 years, I think. And I'm like, well, that'd be interesting to run a fantasy football league with Mandela-affected people. And I'm actually kind of considering it. I'm fighting that off really bad because I'm like, who needs that distraction? I already fight watching football. I say I fight it. It's an easy fight. I don't care. But I'll still look at it. And as soon as I watch them lined up with the ball, I'm thinking of Thanksgiving when I was a kid. It just comes right into my head because I remember wanting to learn about football and understand what was going on and try and follow the ball on TV. And I was young. And that's interesting. But it's just like now I'm just not into it. And, but when I recently thought about this idea about the Fantasy Football Mandela Effect League, part of me is like, yes, duh. And there's another part of me going, absolutely not. And that's probably where I'm going with that. I've already had... my ego already has the whole thing figured out. It's like I already know exactly what I do. You got to have a PayPal account and probably I think it's CBS Sportsline account. That'd be it. All the money would be exchanged there. Where I'm at. It's we're not gambling. It's not illegal. We could do it for nothing. I don't know. And it's like, I really don't want to go in that direction. And I won't. I'd have to be, you'd have to give me 20 teams and have a 20-team draft because you all know, and that's a lot. Because I've been in the most I've been in was 16, and I think 20 would be a lot. So you'd be scrimping for players at the end of that. But the most fun with those things was the draft. That was it. After that, it was just whatever happened, happened. But that's just too much of a distraction. I would feel so much of a hypocrite. I'd feel so much like a hypocrite. But there's another side of me going, look, why not? You go into 5D whether you got a fantasy football team or not. Might be painful when you're there because you got that team. You can put anything you want in that blank. Fantasy football team, cigarettes, weed, alcohol. And I imagine alcohol is a big one, probably for a lot of people. I do not think it's good. I do not think it. I did not drink for a long period of my life.
It wasn't an answer before you. There was this thing on. Yes, hello. Your name is? Alyssa, what company makes stovetop stuffing?
Stovetop.
And that's not the only time I've heard that answer. That is incorrect.
Incorrect.
Yes. But if I give you a choice, or you want to think of some more, I'll give you a choice. of Betty Crocker Craft or Stouffer's. Who makes?
I would say Betty Crocker.
Okay, it's not the only time I've heard that either.
Wrong.
She got the download. Most people think Stouffer's.
Okay, I could see the red spoon. As soon as you said it wasn't stovetop, I could think of the red spoon on the box.
Which would be better?
Betty Crocker.
Wow, interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. You ever remember having a second windshield in there? There was not a second windshield. Remember a second windshield? I don't remember two.
I told him 6. I told him 6. He's like,
did not.
Yeah, well, in the middle of summer, right?
I either said 6 or 5.
He knew about
I don't
this.
know,
He
6 or
even
5.
said, he said, I've done
There's
this before.
3 rows in that car. I knew that.
No, you did not.
I did.
Yeah, but you
man.
think
Look,
Australia's where it
Look at
belongs.
these
So.
photos. Look at this. This is a photo of the car. Yeah, I pulled it up, but like this is not right. Cause look.
Oh, yeah, so there's only 2 rows.
How many rows? There's 3 rows
There's 3
there.
rows
There's not 3 rows in the car.
doesn't matter. You gotta see how many people in the car at the time.
Well, this is what it says it's supposed to be. That there's a windshield, 2 drivers, and then another windshield, another guy. That's not. It's not
It's
2
like that.
windshields.
So there's a new show on Netflix called Dark Tourist.
Look, this is the actual car.
So think about this, because I know I said this somewhere. When we're automatically doing this, like our heart beats automatically. Our lungs move automatically. So we're shifting automatically. But when we consciously do it and we go here, we're on this timeline and we're, moving around to where the parameters are the same. And then we go here, we're going to notice changes. But not only that, you've changed your past. Because this was your past, but now your past is over here, but you're moving along.
So this song, coincidence, it's called Wake Up.
Mandela effect. Proof. That log spot.
Oh God, I've never seen that. Hey, sitting there talking on the phone. Just got a performance during my dinner, and I forgot to pay the bill. They came chasing me.